Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-November 2025 love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is to look at the past, present, future energies between you and the main love interest. Then we'll pull oracle cards for the bridge and the gap dynamic. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel it's the way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Ace of Cups. So this could just be saying that when you cross paths with this person in the past, you might have felt a strong pull toward this person. You might not have expressed it outwardly to them, but at the very least I feel like this is saying you did feel a strong attraction for them. Past energy on their side, we have the Two of Cups. So to me this would say that on the one hand the feeling was probably mutual, right, to see the Two of Cups coming up on their side, but if you notice there's like a jug knocked over, so it could just be one of those things where the feelings were there, but there might have been something else preventing them from fully giving to the connection to the extent they would have liked to at the time. Present energy on your side, we have Balance. So this is actually the equivalent of Temperance, which is a Sagittarius energy. And to see this here could just be pointing to the fact that we're coming up on Sagittarius season soon. So it could just be saying that as we're moving through that season, you might be feeling more positive about how the connection's going, right? You might feel like you balance each other out. Even if you guys are different in some ways, you might feel like those differences are a positive, at least for the time being. All right, present energy on their side, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is actually a Taurus energy here. So yeah, like I said, for some of you, might resonate more with the energy on this side. But either way, I feel like this is saying that this person might just put more of a focus on their career and finances, right? So if we look at the artwork, putting it back in the spread, we see their back is somewhat turned to the cards on this side, right? So it could just be saying that, where their focus might have been more focused toward you in the past, right? Making you feel more positive about the connection at the same time. Now it looks like in the present, something might shift where they might start to put more of their focus toward their career and finances, and then, that could be a bit of a disconnect in the present. Future energy on your side, we have the Five of Coins. So this is actually a Taurus energy as well. And yeah, this could just be saying that ultimately you might feel a little left out in the cold around this connection in the future, especially with the Five Pentacles, right? So it could just be saying that you might feel over time like you're the only one who's actually putting practical effort in toward the connection. So that might cause you to feel like you need to walk away from it down the line. And in a huge contrast in energy, future energy on their side, they have the Four of Wands. So this is actually an Aries energy here. This is an energy of growth, expansion, just overall more celebratory energy, right? So here, the physical artwork they have is pointing to what looks like a wedding, right? But what I'm kind of picking up on for the overall theme for the spread so far is this could definitely be a Mercury retrograde thing, right? And the reason why I say that, for one, is, the time I'm recording this, we pretty much have Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, but it will eventually go into Scorpio, which is your relationship house. So this could just be one of those things where initially you might think that the two of you are really good fit with each other, right? Things are flowing smoothly for a while, but then over time, you might start to notice those differences popping out a lot more clearly, right? So you might still both feel like there's a positive aspect to the connection in a way, but I feel like for this person, they might go through the courting process initially, right? And they're like, okay, good, I have Taurus, everything's great there. Now I can go back to focusing on my career, right? Whereas for you, you're thinking, okay, cool, this person courted me, so now we're going to move forward in the connection, right? But you might find that there's a lack of presence from them in the connection. So it could just be just totally different viewpoints on how the relationship is going, right? They might feel like, okay, cool, Taurus agreed, we're a good fit. Moving forward, now I can focus more on my career, whereas you're expecting them to still show up the way they were in the beginning. So that could be where the disconnect is. So they could feel like, oh, cool, everything's fine. Taurus was on board with us being together. Whereas you're thinking, okay, yeah, I was, but now this person's not even physically showing up in a connection. What's the point, right? So now that sounds a little bit more grim than it needs to be, but I would just say, especially with the Mercury retrograde element in mind that we just talked about, I feel like this is just saying just take your time, right? So don't rush. If you feel that initial rush of, ooh, this person's amazing, just ride it out a little bit right before you make any definitive conclusions one way or the other. Because, like I said, for some of you, this might be your energy here, not this. So, could go either way. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Two of Staves. So, this is Aries energy here. So, yeah, could just be saying that maybe there's a part of you that's just looking for something new, something fresh, right? So, now, and also given that this is Aries energy, that's your 12th house too. So it could just be saying that maybe it's something beneath the surface with you that you might not realize. Like, okay, actually, I'm the one who needs something new, but not necessarily knowing how to go about getting it. And then the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Three of Swords. So yeah, so to me, again, taking this side of the spread in context along with this, I would say this gives the energy of someone who would think that if you were to pull away from the connection, if you were to withdraw, they would assume that, oh, Taurus must have someone else in the picture, right? Where I don't see that at all. I see it more like you're like, okay, this wasn't what I thought it was, right? This person seemed great in the beginning. Now they give all their energy to their career. I never see them. They're never present in the connection. I'm out, right? But they might think, oh, they must have found someone else, you know? So I feel like there's a bit of a lack of self-awareness on their part on the role that they're playing in the situation. So yeah, so we'll see what the oracle cards add to the mix. Because like I said, even though all of this sounds pretty negative, I feel like there could just be an opportunity for the air to clear in a more positive manner. But like I said, it just feels like the two of you just might be reading the situation wrong. So there might be good intentions on both sides, but until the retrograde energy is clear, you might not be really seeing what the two of you are looking for through a clear lens just yet. So we'll see what the oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see what we get from the messages of love deck here. I'm just going to give this a few shuffles. Okay, and then we'll take this card here. And next we'll do the same thing with the Wisdom Oracle deck. So I'm just going to give this a few shuffles now. Alright, and we'll take this card here. Okay, so we'll take a look at the Messages of Love card first. Alright, we have Fate. See if I can get that to focus. There we go. It says this is a destined partnership. So interesting, right? Well, certainly the person on the right seems to think so, but like I said, so this could definitely be another indicator of what I was saying, where even though we're talking about this and it sounds negative in the moment, there was that feeling that, oh, but maybe this could be salvaged. It's just more of, the two of you might need to pace yourselves and then get a more realistic feel for what each of you are looking for, and then maybe it can be worked out, right? So I just feel like their thing would be more of operating off assumption, like, oh, okay, cool, Taurus and I are in a relationship. I could go totally do my own thing here, and everything's fine. Whereas you might expect more upkeep in the connection. All right, and from the Wisdom Oracle, we have Higher Power. There's the artwork. The number is 4. See what this has to say. All right, the relationship message says it's time to address how much effort you give to your relationship with your higher power, called God, Goddess, Spirit, or any other name that is sacred and holy. Recognize that your partnership with Spirit is your number one priority. The appearance of this card also indicates that there is a deep spiritual bond between you and another person who is essential to your growth and evolution. Tend to your spiritual connections and remain aware of your true nature. So yeah, interesting message there as well. So again, like I said, it does seem like this is one of those connections that could have potential long term. But again, I feel like the major theme is to just try to pace yourselves and, like I said, give things a little bit more time to play out. You figure at least until the post shadow period from the retrograde, which would be closer to mid December, roughly. So hopefully that resonates with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.